Our Constitution and our laws contemplate a clear and organized transfer of power. The Constitution states that when a vacancy arises in the office of governor, the Senate President shall act as governor until the vacancy is filled. Throughout my tenure as Senate President, I've always been mindful of this responsibility. As it became likely that Governor Manchin would join the United States Senate, I recognized that it was absolutely necessary to prepare for transition of the duties, responsibilities, and affairs of our great state in an orderly manner. It has been my honor, privilege, and more importantly, my responsibility to prepare for this transition. I've spent countless days examining the work and tasks of the governor's office. I've had the assistance of those who are currently in government, along with others whose vantage point and understanding of government I respect and trust. Assuming no recount or challenges to the election, it is expected that the Secretary of State will certify the election shortly, and Governor Manchin will take his oath as United States Senator somewhere around November 15th. Governor Manchin will resign just prior to taking his Senate oath. When he does, it will be my honor and privilege to serve as governor of the great state of West Virginia. I will spend my time as governor running the executive branch of government. I do not plan on presiding over or voting in the Senate. Our Senate rules contemplate that when the Senate President is unavailable, the President pro tem presides over the Senate. A vacancy in the office of governor does not occur often, but long-established and carefully contemplated rules govern this process. I'm ready to get to work. We must continue to move our great state forward. We must all focus on putting West Virginia first. The world in which we live is extremely competitive. The issues and needs that face West Virginia continue and are far too important to be placed on hold. I recognize that many people may be wondering when a new election for governor will be held. I've been advised that our current laws, which have been on the books for over a century, clearly provide the new election will occur in 2012. Legal experts agree on this point unanimously before a legislative committee studying this subject only a few weeks ago. I'm well aware of the strong desires of some wishing to have an election prior to 2012. For me, it comes down to what the people want. If my fellow West Virginians express an overwhelming desire to have a quick election, I will work with the legislature to make that a reality. We must, however, take a reasoned and thoughtful approach to our decision-making process. We must keep in mind the potential costs, timing, and what is in the best interest of West Virginia. Unlike many of our neighboring states, West Virginia has enjoyed stability during these difficult times. As governor, I will focus on maintaining a stable West Virginia. I will lead with a renewed passion to continue to move this state forward. 25 years ago, when I became Senate Finance Chairman, the state was on the verge of default and bankruptcy. Since that time, I've worked with legislative members and 4 different governors to help bring us back to the financial stability that now makes West Virginia envied nationally. We've paid down our debt, we've balanced our budget, we've lowered taxes, and the fruits of our labor have not gone unnoticed. For example, the bond rating agencies have recently upgraded our ratings. This has resulted and will continue to result in millions of dollars of savings for the taxpayers of our state. This is something we can all be proud of. We must continue to improve our education system. Our children depend on us for a competitive, world-class education. They cannot afford to be let down. We are an energy leader in this country. Coal is a huge part of West Virginia, and we must continue to support its important role in the energy needs of our nation. We need to foster policies where we appropriately balance the interest of protecting our environment while extracting energy resources so desperately needed by our country. West Virginia is blessed with an abundance of energy resources, including coal, natural gas, oil, as well as wind and solar power. And we must continue to take advantage of these resources and make West Virginia stronger. West Virginia is a tremendous state with even greater potential. Her horizon looks bright, and our people are poised for success. I look forward to the coming days and weeks as we create a smooth transition to continue to take care of the business of our great state, and as we all pull together to put West Virginia first. Again, thank you all for being here, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have. Yes, sir.
You mentioned you would agree to an earlier election if you hear some sort of large public outcry. What exactly do you mean by that? What kind of response would you have to get from the public precisely to say that you support the earlier election?
It is the responsibility of the legislature to set a special election. And of course, as we know, every inch of West Virginia is represented by senators and delegates. I feel if the citizens of this state demand a special election, they will let their members of the House and Senate know. At that time, the legislature will act appropriately. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned that you would not participate as Senate President anymore. Why is that? You just don't want to have the mix because that has been a vote of contention for people.
My major responsibility today, and will be in the next few days, hopefully, will be to run the executive branch of this government. Even though I will still be a member of the Senate, I think our Senate rules clearly contemplate the absence of a Senate president. And I'm very proud of the Senate we have developed over the years. They're great individuals, and I'm sure they will continue on doing what's right for the state of West Virginia.
On that point, legally it says the Constitution says the Senate president shall be acting governor. So if you're no longer presiding over the Senate, are you still acting governor?
I will still be president of the Senate under our Constitution. The Senate Democrats will caucus in December, and on the first day of the session will be the election for president for a 2-year term. It's my hope that my fellow members of the Senate will re-elect me as their president for the 9th time. But beyond that, that will probably be the last day that I will be actually in the Senate chamber. I'll turn it over to the capable individuals who are there to run the business of the Senate.